Good morning. Let me get arranged here. Welcome to the Universalist Church, in which love is the spirit. We're glad you're here, whether you're here in our sanctuary or anywhere else in the world on our live stream. I'm Joe Wilson, one of your representatives on our Board of Trustees. If you are a visitor, we hope you'll sign one of our guest books at either entrance to the sanctuary or visit our webpage, www.westhartforduu.org, where you can learn more. There you can use the contact page to get onto our electronic mailing list. Our electronic communications are the best way for us to stay connected. We look forward to helping you become part of our Universalist Church community. Now I think Rev Adam may have some important announcements for us.
I have a few things. Our service auction fundraiser will take place on June 1st. And so what that means is that we need donations to sell at the auction now. So if you have items or events that you would like to offer as part of our service auction, part of that fundraiser, please let us know. We are ready for those immediately. And tickets will start being sold on May 5th. Today we have a new member orientation. And so that's going to happen this week and next week. It's a 2-session series that will give you the information that you need in order to become a member of the congregation, if that's something that you'd like to do. You also can just attend and learn, and we don't expect that you will become a member necessarily. But you'll need to attend at least one of those 2 sessions, and preferably both, before you can become a member. In addition, we also have on first Sundays of each month a kind of visitors gathering that happens with me or with another minister, if need be, if for some reason I'm away. So there are many ways for you to get to know us and get to know the congregation well. You'll want to check your weekly notes, both in the order of service and online, for things that are happening here. One that I want to call your attention to is Drag Bingo on the 28th. It's a support for our Welcoming Congregations work and for Q+, the queer youth organization that we're supporting with program and office space here. And so we are excited to have some good fun next Sunday afternoon. Now is the time to buy tickets for that. So we hope that you'll see about spending some time here next Sunday afternoon having fun and supporting a really good cause. I think that's it.
Thank you very much. Now today we'll have fellowship in Fisk Hall and through Zoom. If you need help finding your way to Fisk Hall after the service for our fellowship hour, any member of the church will be happy to help you. Just look for someone wearing a Universalist Church name tag, or you can just follow the herd. We all want coffee. Back that way. You can find the link for Zoom Fellowship in your weekly news or our Breeze calendar. If you aren't getting the weekly news, please do sign up for it on our website. And now, I invite you to take a moment to make your mobile phones silent, turn off your email, put away all those keyboards, and settle in for worship.
Jan, please come up and join me. If you have a chalice at home, we invite you to pull that out and light yours as we light ours here in the sanctuary too. Because today we light our chalice with gratitude for the earth upon which we exist, for all our siblings of living, the plants, the animals, the fungi, the single cells, for our relationship with our indigenous neighbors, particularly the Golden Hill Pagusset tribe, and to acknowledge that within the chalice of our community and our history, we also carry relationship and responsibility.
Good morning. These words are from the land acknowledgement we created and adopted on May 21st, 2023, with the support of Sharon Wapatukwe Piper, clan mother of the Golden Hill Pagusset. Connecticut was home to numerous indigenous people long before the Europeans arrived. We recognize, acknowledge, and honor their past stewardship of this land and their continuing presence in this place. We, the members of this church, pledge to uphold our stewardship responsibilities now and in the future in collaboration with the indigenous nations among us.
Our opening hymn is number 4 in the gray hymnal. Number 4, it's called I Brought My Spirit to the Sea. Please rise in body or in spirit as we sing together. Please join me in speaking the words of our affirmation, our covenant. It's printed in your order of service and in the description online. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Please be seated.
Did you know that there are trillions of tiny little creatures living inside your bodies? They're called microbiota, and they're so tiny that to them, your body is like a planet. To microbiota, I am planet Patricia. Let's see, you are planet Farron, and we have planet Vicky, planet Adam. Microbes are so tiny you can't see them, you can't hear them, you can't even feel them move. One microbe all by itself can't do very much. They live in your planet body and they depend on you for their entire lives. But your planet body also depends on them to stay healthy. If the microbiota in your body are out of balance, you get sick. You get a fever, headache, the flu. When this happens, it might be because the microbiota in your planet body got out of balance. Some of them protect you from bacteria that make you sick. Some of them help you digest food well. In general, if you are healthy, you can thank those tiny little creatures for working together to keep things in balance. So our bodies are like a planet, but our actual planet Earth is like a body as well. And people are like one kind of microbiota. I am microbe Patricia. That's not as fun as planet Patricia. But, so let's see. We have microbe Elizabeth and microbe Tracy and microbe Adam and microbe Joy Christie. You are, well, most of the time, we don't really even notice how big, because we're such tiny microbes on our planet Earth, we don't notice how big and how important our planet is. We take it for granted. We take for granted the air we breathe, the food we eat, the water we drink, which comes all from our planet Earth. But just like the microbiota in our bodies, our planet Earth also depends on us. Just like your body depends on your microbiota to stay healthy and balanced, our planet depends on people to stay balanced. And what we know right now is that our planet is not all that healthy. This is because people are out of balance. They're out of balance with one another, with themselves, with the earth. Sometimes this feels like a really big problem that one little microbiota can't handle. But if we do things together, then some things can shift and change. I do small things like ride my bike or walk instead of drive my car sometimes. I do medium things like go to meetings or talk to people who have power in government. Our planet Earth is sick, and each of us are just tiny microbes, but working all together, we can push the balance of our planet back toward healthy. And let me show you how. So, Patrice, can you just raise your hands in the air for me? Okay, you can put them down. Patrice is just one little microbe. It's not a big deal, right? Kind of looks silly. I'm raising my hands. Who cares? Nothing's really happening. But we're going to create a wave in this room, okay? And we're going to watch the whole room make something wonderful happen. So when I point to the people in the first row, I want you all to raise your hands. And each row behind, as soon as those folks start to put their hands down, you raise yours. And so on and so on and so on. You ready? And go. Okay, let's do that again. It looked pretty cool. We've got potential. Let's try one more time. So just as the row behind the row in front of, just as soon as you see the hands go up and start to come down, then your hands come up and back down. Ready? Kiddos, stand up and turn around and watch this. I'm going to give you one more try. Can you give us a tempo?
We're using number 414 in the hymnal if you need to see the words. As we leave this friendly place, love give light to every face. May the kindness which we learn light our hearts till we return. Our offering. The sharing of our resources for our shared work as a religious community is a spiritual practice for us. By offering your time, talent, and treasure to this community, you help us to serve our members, our friends, and the wider community as well. As part of that service, we share our general offering each week with organizations out in the world that do the work of bringing us ever closer to creating beloved community. And this month, we share our offering with the Interreligious Eco-Justice Network. It's Connecticut's only faith-based environmental nonprofit. The mission of IREJN is to inspire and equip Connecticut's religious communities and their spiritual allies to protect our planet through education, engagement, and advocacy. To give electronically, please use the QR codes on your order of service or the links online in the description. You can also use the links on our website to make your donation to our offering. And here in the sanctuary, we will gratefully receive our offering. May these gifts, so generously given, sustain the life of this community, the work that we do together, and make a wonderful difference in the wider world of which we are a part. Thank you. Thank you. Please rise, in body or in spirit, as we speak together our congregational reading. It's number 465 in the gray hymnal. Number 465, it's called The Wisdom to Survive. I'll read the words in Roman types, and together we will respond with the words in italics. If we will have the wisdom to survive, to stand like slow growing trees on a ruined place, if we will make our seasons welcome here, asking not too much of earth or heaven, their houses strongly placed upon the valley sides, and over it birdsong like a canopy. On the steeps where greed and ignorance cut down the old forest, the veins of forgotten springs will have opened. Families will be singing in the fields. They will take nothing from the ground, they will not return, whatever the grief at parting. Memory, native to this valley, will spread over it like a robe. Memory will grow into legend into song into sacrament. The abundance of this place, the songs of its people and its birds, will be health and wisdom and indwelling light. This is no paradisal dream. Its hardship is its possibility. Let's join together in singing our doxology. Praise God for love we all may share. Praise God for unity everywhere. Praise God for all you to be. Praise God for truth that makes us free. Amen. Please be seated. I have a couple of things to share with you on behalf of the congregation. First, Justin B.'s father died on Friday, a little while after having a massive stroke this past week. So Justin is supporting his mother and taking care of what needs to be done now. Our thoughts, our prayers, and our love go to them as they grieve and determine what needs to happen next. Hannah G. is in the hospital today with an unexpected but manageable situation and possibly some surgery. She appreciates our prayers, our love, and our support as well. Please join with me in praying with words adapted from Laura Bogle. We gather here to remember that this is our home, this earth, but not just ours. This land we live on, this water we drink, this air we breathe, these old mountains that hold us steady to our ground, these forests that give us their healing green, these flowers that give us their beauty and fragrance, these fields that give us our daily bread, these stars that show us our place. What seems wild and what seems tame, all of it is our home. We remember the ancestors, too, who have lived on this land and who have shaped it through today. The Siakogs, the Paquanoks, and the Tunxis nations. The settlers, the wanderers and the explorers, the farmers, the hunters, the immigrants, the artists, the families, the business people, the engineers, the builders, the scientists, the teachers, the workers, the leaders, and our neighbors and our friends, the Golden Hill Pagusset, and ourselves, too. We inherit their choices, and we must make our own. We honor the animals and creatures that have made their home in this land, the ones here now and the ones that were here before. We envision the future generations who will live on this land, and we let their voices fill our hearts. We gather here this Earth Day to remember that this is our home, but not just ours. Let us take a moment in stillness for the prayers of our hearts together. Together, we remember that this is our home, but not just ours. The land we live on, the water we drink, the air we breathe, the mountains, the forests, the flowers, the fields. We honor all that it lives, now and in the past, and will be yet to come. We gather here to remember that this is our home, but not just ours. Amen. Blessed be.
Our first reading is about environmental justice from an Indigenous perspective by Dina Gilio Whitaker from her book, As Long as Grass Grows, published by the UUA's Beacon Press. Changing the name of the Justice Department's Office of Environmental Equity to the Office of Environmental Justice in 1994 came on the heels of public criticism and reflects what remains a long-standing debate in activist, academic, and legal environmental justice circles. As many have pointed out, the difference between environmental equity and environmental justice is in how risk is distributed. Equity says that the burden of environmental risk should be equally distributed among all populations, whereas justice guarantees protection from environmental degradation, prevention of adverse health impacts, mechanisms for accountability, and the availability of remedial action and resources. Justice guarantees three basic rights: the right to information, the right to a hearing, and the right to compensation. Or, as environmental justice activist Mike Ewald succinctly states, it represents the fundamental difference between the concepts of poison people equally and stop poisoning people, period. Our second reading is from Reverend Adams' chapter in Justice on Earth, published by the UUA's Skinner House Publishing. Living lightly on the earth is sometimes portrayed as having to give up all that is fun and freeing, that somehow we are losing something by having greater fuel efficiency, by recycling and composting, no longer using incandescent light bulbs. Do we truly lose anything by using a different light bulb, by recycling or composting? Are we somehow more free by disrespecting the earth on which we live? Moreover, is it a pleasure to destroy the homelands and livelihoods of others through the effects of environmental sin? To poison food-bearing lands and waters through pollution, and then decide that these actions are harmless because the people they affect are African or Inuit or South Asian or poor or far away? No. Whether we are concerned with other people or the planet, we should limit our impact, not because we're afraid, but because it's the right thing to do. Let us not make change because of some future hell, lest we link acting faithfully to fear rather than love, lest we link action to disaster rather than reverence. Let us make change because it is the right, respectful, loving thing to do now. Let us make more room for other forms of existence that share the planet with us: human, plant, animal, mineral. Let us make change because sin, breaking relationship with that with which we value, and love, is not fun.
If we will have the wisdom to survive, to stand like slow-growing trees on a ruined place. I love this poem by Wendell Berry. The truth is, I love almost everything he's written. It's beautiful, and it's so deeply grounded in his experience as a farmer and as one who loves where he lives. Another reason why I love his writing is because, much like this poem, it is clear, and it's honest, and it's even hopeful, though not without effort. It tells the truth. We humans, most especially those of us with power and money, and also those of us who have lost our indigenous heritage from wherever our people began, have largely considered the earth as a resource to use and consume, rather than a member of our family, brother, sun, sister, moon, a partner, a collaborator, a parent, an entity to love and protect, a body, much like our own bodies. If we understand the earth as any of those things that we might love, then we have to move toward a relationship in which we are stewards of the earth, caring for it as it supports our living, realizing and recognizing that we are temporarily here, and that we take our turn loving and living and nurturing and improving this earth while we are here, because others will come after us, and they need us to do our best by our planet and by all those others yet to come. There is good news. That consumerist mindset has been changing, if not fast enough. The practice of valuing nature became environmentalism, which became environmental protection, which became laws about clean air and water and earth, which became sustainability and also work toward climate change mitigation. Wendell Berry writes, "The river will run clear as we never knew it." This work, this environmental awareness, has advanced, and it has improved over time. And, as we are all aware, we haven't done enough yet. As Patricia said, things are a little bit out of balance, and much like when our microbiome is out of balance and we can get a little feverish and sick, our planet is out of balance and it's a little feverish. So let's think about why that is. Well, some of it's very simple. Greed. When people are able to make more money from harmful things, unfortunately, we know about human beings that many of us will choose to make more money rather than do less harm. We also know that power is involved. There's political power, influencing power. Some folks will chase that power rather than do what is right. And then, where you have greed and power, we know that corruption follows. But it's not just those things. It's also a lack of understanding. It's ignorance. Perhaps less ignorance now than there used to be, but some of it's even willful ignorance, choosing to ignore the problems, hoping that they'll just go away on their own. There's also a lack of will. A lack of will to prioritize things like climate change mitigation. But if we better understood what we valued, us individually, us as a community, us as a state, as a nation, as a world, if we better understood what we needed to value, we might also better understand how to act on it. When we communicate the threats to our world well and clearly, then we find that others are more willing and able to help make change. Wendell Berry writes, On the steps where greed and ignorance cut down the old forest, a new old forest will stand, its rich leaf fall drifting down upon its own roots. So I want you to take a moment, just for yourselves internally right now. Think about, what do you value? What of the earth do you value? What of this planet matters most to you? And now, hopefully, that you have some ideas in mind, some things that you love, that you value so much, I have another question. What are you willing to do to nurture that? To protect it? To make sure that it is still here after you are? What are you willing to do to help make change for the better? And if we can hold on to what we nurture and value and love the most, then that is where we find the political will and the personal will to do what is necessary. Right? To get involved with policy advocacy. It doesn't sound nearly so much fun as like, oh, I love being out in my backyard among the trees and the flowers and the deer and the bears. That sounds way more fun to me, but the truth is, my backyard with the trees and the flowers and the deer and the bears relies on my willingness to help change the world a little bit. It relies on my willingness to do some policy advocacy through IREJN, for example. Or perhaps to get involved with voter rights and registration and information. Composting is necessary and wonderful and beautiful, and I do it, and honestly, I kind of love it. But it's not enough. We have to engage and act together. We have to be able to make differences at home so that we can do the very best of what we can do and also encourage others and our systems to do the same. So one of the things that we've been hearing about from Green Sanctuary and IREJN is about this energy efficiency campaign, where we're encouraging people to do home energy audits and find out what they can do to make their own homes more efficient, frankly less expensive, but use fewer resources. And this is a campaign that we're hoping will go far beyond our congregations, but the very first thing that we have been asked to do is to do this work ourselves. Gain some knowledge and some experience before we ask others to make improvements. So we're trying to get you all to participate in this energy efficiency campaign. And I'm going to tell you a little bit of a testimonial. I moved here in 2017, and since that time, I have had 2 energy audits of my home. People have come in and they've sealed up windows and doors and then blown air through to see what would happen. And we discovered that we had some pretty big leaks, which I could have told you from the breezes that I felt in winter in a couple of my rooms. And so they found those spots and they sealed them up. They did a little bit of work on making some of our mechanicals more efficient, gave us some LED bulbs where we didn't already have them. And then I was told 3 years later, oh, you can do this again. Well, okay, fantastic. Let's see what else they can do. And so they came back, and where before they'd said, you might want to re-insulate your attic a little bit. It's going to cost a few $1,000s, and I didn't have that right then. They came back and said, oh, you should re-insulate your attic. We have a program now. It's just going to cost $600. Okay, great, fantastic. And so with each energy audit, things became more comfortable in our home, and we used less oil, and we had less impact on our world. And then in this past year, we had air source heat pumps installed. Rather than replacing air conditioners, we went for the most sustainable, most useful, most efficient option. And I have to tell you, it's been wonderful. It's been comfortable, and it's been less expensive. And we don't use oil anymore to heat our house. And that is a wonderful change. And all of this happened in part because I actually value the earth enough that I was willing to spend a little money and be a little inconvenienced to make everything better. And for me, this is not just I was a biologist, so this is what I think, but rather, this is a commitment that matters to me. This is a spiritual task. I felt grateful and more deeply connected with each one of these improvements and changes. I will tell you right now that I've never used one of my own published writings as a reading before. It seems a little arrogant and egotistical, and I don't know that I will ever do it again. But when I thought about all of this, I realized that I could not say it any better now than I did when I wrote it the first time. Living lightly on the earth is sometimes portrayed as having to give up all that is fun and freeing, that somehow we're losing something. Is it a pleasure to destroy the homelands and livelihoods of others and then decide that these actions are harmless because the people they affect are African or Inuit or South Asian or poor or far away? No. Whether we are concerned with other people or the planet, we should limit our impact not because we're afraid of some future hell, but because it is the right thing to do. Let us make change because it is respectful, loving. Let us make more room for other forms of existence that share the planet with us. Doing what is right because it is right is an important part of what we need to do. And it's a part of our universalist heritage. Our universalist ancestors said, hey, we believe that God is love and that God would never condemn any of its creation to hell. And over time, we have taken that idea and moved it forward to say, maybe we are going to decide to be good, to do good, not because we're afraid of some punishment in the future, but because we love and value that which we are in relationship with. Because other people and this world matter enough that we should do good because it is the right thing to do. And we know that doing what is right because it is right as individuals is not quite enough. Solving the climate change problem or any other kind of pollution or damage to the earth requires solutions at multiple levels. Starting with ourselves is one way to drive our energy and passion to help us cause change, then at the local and state and national levels too. If we, as a congregation, mean what we said in our 2020 vision statement, and I'll repeat it so you remember. Building upon our 200 years as a beacon of liberal faith and universal love, we deepen our commitment to be a church that actively serves the community and works for a just society in partnership with those affected by injustice, and an eco-conscious congregation where we substantially improve our impact on the environment in big and small ways. And if we mean what we said in our land acknowledgement, Connecticut was home to numerous indigenous people long before the Europeans arrived. We recognize, acknowledge, and honor their past stewardship of this land and their continuing presence in this place. We, the members of this church, pledge to uphold our stewardship responsibilities now and in the future in collaboration with the indigenous nations among us. If we really meant those things, then we must help to do more. To do more than just preserve some tracts of land as parks and wildernesses, because this land never really had wildernesses. They are all places where indigenous people lived in and on. We have to move toward environmental justice and sustainability for us all. Not just poison people equally, but stop poisoning people. More and more indigenous people from this country and all over the world are writing and speaking and dancing and demonstrating and telling us that we all must come together in new and also very old ways to make the world better. And some of that writing is being published by our UUA, especially through Beacon Press. They're the ones who published As Long as Grass Grows by Dina Gilio Whitaker. This idea of poison people equally or stop poisoning people, period, is just one of the things that I am going to remember from that book. So who can we learn from? How can we learn to do better, do more at multiple levels? We can learn from those who were here before us and those who are here now, and the possible reality of those who are yet to come. This work is practical. It requires changing some mechanicals in our homes and our spaces. It requires electricity and insulation. It does not sound terribly spiritual, but the truth is, everything is spiritual. Everything is connected. Making a better choice is making a better choice for everyone and everything. The practical is also relational. We save the earth and one another together. And we can't do it alone, and we can't do it all ourselves, and we each have to do our part. And then we come together. Unfortunately, there's no magic wand that will solve this. Instead, it is, as Wendell Berry writes, this is no paradisal dream. Its hardship is its possibility. The fact that we have work to do and that it is work that we can do together means that it is possible for us to do better, to improve our circumstances, to make the world healthier. May it be so. May we do it. Blessed be, and amen. Please rise, in body or in spirit, as we sing our closing hymn. It's number 21 in the gray hymnal, number 21, For the Beauty of the Earth.
For
Let us speak together our unison benediction. It's in your order of service and the description online. Engage with the world in peace. Have courage. Hold on to what is good. Return to no person evil for evil. Strengthen the faint-hearted. Support the weak. Help the suffering. Honor all beings. And please be seated. Remain for our postlude. Before you stand up, I'm going to ask Norma and IREJN and Leslie to please stand up, because they are going to be the folks who guide those of you who are interested in the membership orientation to where you need to go. So if you're going to the membership orientation, follow Norma or IREJN, and I will join you there shortly. Thank you.